Like, do you have any advice for first-time home buyers in Orange County? Like, I don't know.
Well, I looked at that stat and it said, okay, almost 25% of the first-time home buyers got family support. But then I looked at it, I said, okay, well, 75% didn't. So what did they do? And a lot of, like, I think it was between 33% was selling stock in crypto. So they did have retirements that they could, like,
Bitcoin, baby.
yeah, right, to the moon. So they did have some investment stuff that they were able to cash out on. Some are staying in their homes, in their parents' homes longer. But there's also unique things that I've seen where I've seen a company that does like crowdfunding for first-time home buyers.
Yeah,
where
heard about that.
You can tap into friends, family, even strangers, share your story.
Yes.
And even $5, $10 or whatever it goes to it. But the money does have to go towards your down payment.
Yes, I've heard of that.
And then there's a lot of house hacking going on right now too, where you can buy units.
Can you describe house hacking? Like, what does that mean? Because a lot of people, when they hear house hacking, they have no idea what that means. Hello, everybody. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whoever's watching this. Your host has returned, Jason Thibodeau with JMJ Financial. I have a very close friend and client with us today, and that is Lain Stone with the Sack & Stone team.
Dun, dun, dun.
Seven Gables Real Estate, which has been around a long time. They share an office space, not an office space, but an office with us, the building, same building. They're on the first floor. We're on the second floor. We run into each other all the time, but more importantly, I don't know, I've been working with what was the Team Sack & team since 2009, which has now become the Sack & Stone team.
Hey-o.
That's right.
That's right.
And you're the leader of the ship now.
Yeah. Took it over about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've known you even before we were with Seven Gables. So
that's right.
I know
because it was Star before, right?
It was Star Real Estate before, and there was 1 year we broke away from Star, came back.
Was that Compass? Yeah.
No, we were at Telus. We were at Telus.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that brand.
Yeah.
Did they even exist anymore?
They got bought out by Douglas Elliman.
See, that's all over.
Yeah.
I had so many mergers and acquisitions.
But the one biggest draw to us was Sharon. And Sharon still is a huge draw in the real estate space.
Yeah.
I know that he was with Real for a little bit. I think he's doing something with Alex Ramosi now. But I still follow him on the socials, and he's still a big influence for me in the real estate space. But like he was kind of heading things over at Telus at the time, and he was a big draw.
And where did he land? Real?
He was at Real for a bit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And he was partnered with Alex Ramosi?
And now he's partners with Alex Ramosi, yeah.
In the real estate space?
Not in the real estate space. I don't know what exactly this venture is, so I don't know if you need to cut this part of it out of the podcast, because I don't know. But I haven't followed that part of it. I know he's still very much affiliated with the real estate. BAM, Broke Agent Media, is another media company that I like to follow. I'm going to go to their BAM camp in Tucson. Next month. Yeah.
And what's that camp like focused on? Like the Alex Ramosi thing and like online social media marketing is so fascinating to me. I'm just trying to now get up to speed with the studio and what we're doing here. But like, what's your focus and why are you going to that camp?
Marketing. Yeah, specifically digital and social media marketing.
Yeah, maybe I need to join you.
Yeah, they have some great speakers there. They're good. I'm going to be really focused on learning about the YouTube part of things. I feel like right now I'm starting to get some traction on Instagram, which is great.
What's the guy's name?
Which guy?
The one you're going to at the camp?
Oh,
who's leading that?
Byron Lazine, Eric Simon. They're part of like that Broke Agent Media team over there.
Broke Agents.
Yeah, BAM.
That's funny.
He started off doing like memes, and he still does the memes, and bad real estate picks, I think was another one of their accounts. But they turned it into a media company, and they have a really good podcast. They get really good guests. They have a lot of really fun things to talk about from the marketing space. And I'm always trying to improve that.
Yeah. You were very committed in general. I see you guys constantly, you and your marketing coordinator, Stipe.
Yeah.
You guys are always pushing the envelope and trying to be on the leading edge, I've noticed.
Yeah, so if it takes me to Phoenix or Tucson or wherever that's going to be next month, I'm going to go to try to improve that. So
does that feel like a chore to you, or you actually enjoy having to go and sit and learn all this stuff?
Both.
Yeah.
Both. The chore part of it is just I wish it was in my own backyard. I wish I didn't have to leave my wife. Stuff like that. But then when I'm there, I get in the moment. I enjoy it.
Yeah, once you're there, it's like a workout almost.
Yeah, so it's nice to escape.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if I'm just find myself alone in a hotel room, I can be more productive just working on my business and thinking about my business without any distractions.
You're going alone?
And I'm going alone, yeah. I'm going alone. So I do.
I can come and distract you if you want.
You can get a completely different hotel room than I could have. Just kidding.
That's actually probably a good idea. Different hotel rooms for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But no, I think if that's something that you're interested in, it's definitely real estate marketing. You should totally look into that.
Yeah,
And
it's
if
fascinating.
you're a realtor watching this right now, it's like, and you want to explore real estate marketing, that's one of them. There's Real Estate Video Blueprint, which is another one I like to follow, where they focus on improving your video from a real estate marketing standpoint. I was alluding to before, like I feel like I'm starting to get really good traction on Instagram. I'm not going to let that go.
Yeah.
But I think a majority of the new business is YouTube. Is coming from YouTube.
So fascinating. It's always shifting.
Yep.
And you kind of need to have a presence in both. And anything you do on Instagram goes to Facebook anyway.
Correct.
Because you're kind of hitting all generations, right? Because demographically, Facebook is older.
Correct.
Right? Instagram is, I don't know, what would you say, millennials? And then YouTube, I don't know what kind of net that
Instagram is getting older. I feel like I'm in that like getting older stage, but I don't want to admit that I'm older.
Point.
And then TikTok's really young.
Yeah.
I think, they're still.
I've questioned the idea of getting into TikTok because it's like, do I really want to market to 12-year-olds?
Okay, well, let me give you some stats. Right now.
Yeah,
actually, the broke agent shared yesterday. So it wasn't a huge poll. It was over 700 agents, and they asked, "What's your primary social media platform?" Number one at 46% was Facebook.
Yeah, because demographically, right?
Yeah. Number two was Instagram at like 40-something%. So just behind.
So we're talking 90% between Facebook and Instagram.
Then it goes down from there to like 2.67%. Like, don't quote me on the exact numbers. Like 2.67% was LinkedIn.
I don't believe LinkedIn.
Neither do I. Then it went 2.4% YouTube, and then 0.9% was TikTok. And most of the business, I feel like the future business could potentially come from YouTube. And only 2.4% of the real estate agents right now are actively using YouTube as their primary channel. And then I feel like us in Orange County, TikTok, there's a lot of agents that are succeeding really well with TikTok right now. But I think they're but I think they're in markets that cater to a younger demographic for first-time home buyers. Average home in Orange County now is 1.4, 1.5
It's
million.
not going to be here.
No.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like I'm the old guy in our group. In my, I don't focus mainly on originating anymore because I got the team now and Matt and Idaho and just building and being an operator. But when I am handling my own, it's always a $1.8 million sale, right? A $2 million sale, upper echelon, and a little bit more complicated, but they're always well qualified. It's just a totally different market.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because it's Huntington Beach, it's coastal Orange County.
Anytime I post a video, it's like, here's what you need to do as a first-time home buyer to buy a home in Orange County. They kill me on the comments.
Really?
Yeah, they hate me in the comments.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah.
Like, because the income requirements?
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm never going to be able to afford in Orange County.
I mean, sadly, it's kind of true.
There are creative ways around it.
And rich parents.
Yeah. And that's part of the video that I shot on yesterday, actually. Yeah. So it was 1 in 4 millennial and Gen Z's used parents to buy a house. You have to.
And I personally don't see a problem with that. I think, everyone's got different opinions on that, where it's like, oh, silver spoon in the mouth or whatever. But for me, it's like the boomers have benefited in a massive way from asset inflation. Yep. And they're house rich, and not just that, their 401ks and all their other investments. And the younger generation sort of has been left behind because of the inflation. So it kind of feels like it's somewhat of a responsibility in my opinion, this is a personal opinion, of parents to bridge the gap for the younger generation. Not saying like buy them $1.5 million home, but help them get into a starter condo. But problem is, starter condos right now are $800,000+, 600+ HOA dues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you have the means to do it, do it.
Yeah.
I've heard some family members say really cool things to their kids and said, when you have this opportunity to do it for your kids, do it and pass it along. You kind of pass that baton forward. So obviously you take advantage of it, but then share that with somebody else in the future if you have the means to be able to do it too.
I see the struggle for first-time buyers in Orange County. It's really hard. Like we've got a teacher right now who's got a decent salary, 6 figures, right?
Yep.
Not married, no dual income, and really wants to buy a condo in Huntington Beach. We were starting to look at the 600 rough thousand for 1 bedroom stuff. but it's like, why bother almost? You know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah.
just from a resale investment standpoint, the long run, what are you actually getting yourself into? So now we're looking at 2 to 3 bedrooms, but we're immediately jumping up to 800 plus thousand, and mom's having to come in with pretty significant gift funds to bridge the gap to make it
And at
work.
that point, are you talking about a roommate in the second room
Yes,
sometimes too?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does take creativity and family support, but it's tough. Like, do you have any advice for first time home buyers in Orange County? Like, I don't know.
Well, I looked at that stat and it said, okay, almost 25% of the first time home buyers got family support. But then I looked at it, I said, okay, well, 75% didn't. So what did they do? And a lot of, like, I think it was between 33% was selling stock in crypto. So they did have retirements that they could, like,
Bitcoin, baby.
yeah, right, to the moon. So they did have some investment stuff that they were able to cash out on. Some are staying in their homes, in their parents' homes longer. But there's also unique things that I've seen where I've seen a company that does like crowdfunding for first-time home buyers.
Yeah,
Where
heard about that.
you can tap into friends, family, even strangers, share
Yes.
your story.
Yes.
And even $5, $10 or whatever it goes to it. But the money does have to go towards your down payment.
Yes, I've heard of that.
And then there's a lot of house hacking going on right now too, where you can buy units.
Can you describe house hacking? Like, what does that mean? Because a lot of people, when they hear house hacking, they have no idea what that means.
Yeah, it's either units or roommates, but basically a perfect example is you can buy up to 4 units and then live in one for a certain amount of time. I believe it's 12 months, and then rent out the rest of the units. And after 12 months, you can continue to live there, obviously, but then, or you can continue to rent out that fourth unit or that unit that you were living in and go buy something else.
If I could do it over again as a 20-something-year-old, that's what I would have done.
Same.
My advice to youngsters thinking about this stuff is don't get married too soon, okay? Don't get married too soon. Sure, love is important, but like make sure you have your priorities straight. And then, this idea of having to buy a forever home on your first shot, it's not necessary. Like the amount of experience you're going to gain from buying a 2 to 4 unit in Long Beach or something like that, right? And doing the sweat equity thing once you acquire it and living in it for a year, because you can buy it as your primary.
Yep.
And you can do minimum down payments, and it becomes a little bit more affordable to do it that way. But from an investment standpoint, you can move out after a year, assuming you're ready to buy another place, and do it all over again. And you expand your real estate portfolio that way. Did I describe it correctly?
Described it correctly, and you would know better than me on this, but I believe you can use the other units, potential rental income and rental income to offset
and qualification.
And the qualification. So you can qualify for even a little bit more going in on a duplex, triplex.
Yeah. Fannie Mae used to be really uptight on that too. Like they wanted 25% down with units, multifamily, no questions asked. They shifted that guideline and they're now minimum down.
I've people who do FHA, right?
Down. Yeah. 3.5% with FHA, 5% minimum with multifamily. FHA has some strings attached with the 4 units, like a self-sufficiency test that makes it more difficult. So Fannie being like, if you have good FICO scores, 5% down, it could work really well.
Yeah. So to your point, if we were going to do it, both of us agree, if we were going to do it all over again, that's where we would start.
Yeah. The crowdfunding idea is really fascinating. Like I'm curious. I know which lender does that, but I'm curious in actual practice how well that works, because maybe your network, like if you're a social media influencer, I could see that being pretty easy. But if you're an influencer, you'll probably have the money anyways.
No, yeah. I mean, and it depends how, if you have a good story too that gets picked up somewhere, because there's always those GoFundMe accounts that like I even feel compelled to donate to when I
especially after the fires and Altadena, which is demographically less wealthy than the Pacific Palisades, right? We had clients where we were donating to the GoFundMe.
Yeah, so I feel like if you have a good story, you might have a better chance of getting a little bit more from that part of it. But it's still so new that if I saw something coming across my direction on Facebook or Instagram or something, would I trust that that's actually going to get down payment? Yeah.
Like, and I assure you, the scary part and unfortunate part is once people realize this is becoming more mainstream, the fraudsters are going to take advantage of that.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I want to talk about the market a little bit, but what about AI? I don't know. Like I hear AI and we use ChatGPT and all that stuff to like make us not sound dumb when we're writing things out.
Yeah.
Like, are you incorporating that at all? Like, what's your take right now?
That I spend more time with AI than I do with my wife these days. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll edit that part out.
Yeah, just edit. She won't watch this, right?
Yeah.
No, that was a joke. But yes, that was a clever way of answering that. We do spend a lot of time with AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok.
Yeah, it's a lot because there's so many variations on it. But are you like integrating it in a way that's actually enhancing what you do?
I think so. I'm trying to think of all these different ways that we do it. Oh, perfect example. We were going on a listing appointment. It was a golf course home in a particular community here in Huntington Beach, golf course view. And I took the 10-year history of sales in that community, exported it to a CSV file, uploaded to ChatGPT, and I said, here are the addresses that have golf course views. Do you see any correlation in like percentage differences between golf course views versus non-golf course views?
So interesting.
And it said, historically over the last 10 years, I see an 18% appreciation of golf course view homes over the non-golf course view homes. So then when I went to go sit down with the seller and I said, what's my house worth? I actually had concrete evidence thanks to ChatGPT, where I could say, hey, look,
trying to do that work yourself too is daunting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Historically, over the last 10 years, your golf course view home is sold for 18% more than non-golf course view homes. And here's how, and I had proof to show it. And then it ended up being very close to where I was going to suggest a list price anyways, but then I had actually proof to back that up. So that was one case that
you ended up with that client, I'm assuming.
I did not.
Okay.
Okay.
Old sellers don't like AI.
No, I know. So here's the thing. There's only 3 listings I didn't get so far all year. All 3 of them are currently on the market. So
okay, that's a good segue. Can we talk about that a little bit? Well, the inventory in the market, right? It's different. It's basically twice as high this year, comparing to the same time last year. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no.
We're at basically 5,000 homes, where we've been hovering around 2,000 to 2,500 homes in the previous 3 to 5 years, essentially.
Yeah.
So things have changed, and you mentioned the ones you didn't get. They probably were answer shopping, right? They didn't like the answer you gave them. It's a very emotional thing. People want the price they want, and then they ever find out the hard way after sitting 3 to 6 months on the market that nothing's happening.
Yes, I had one in Laguna Beach. Hey, if you're listening in Fox, shame on you, but I'm just kidding. I had one in Laguna Beach where I told him his place was worth $8.8 million.
Oh, it was one of those homes.
It was one of those homes.
Okay.
He fell off his chair thinking I was crazy.
Well,
absolutely.
I'm sure a home like that comes with a bigger ego.
For sure. Then I told him that, and again, it was shame on me, but I put a line in the sand. I said, if you list this over 10 million, I'm not the agent for you.
Yeah.
Fast forward, I wasn't the agent for him. He listed it for about 11 million and change.
Wow.
Fast forward, it's 7 months later. He just reduced the price to 8.95 million. So we're only $195,000 away.
Well, you probably took that advice that you gave him, realizing
it is what it is. But hopefully he gets what I said he should probably get it for.
Why are agents taking listings when they know they're severely overpriced like that?
I think there's a term in our industry called buying the listing. So you can kind of say whatever you want to the seller to get the listing, tell them what they want to hear, not what they need to hear. I've always practiced something that telling what they need to hear.
It feels like a fundamental difference to approach the business, though, doesn't it?
It does.
Right, because ultimately you're going to lose out on some business approaching it the way you are. And I can imagine people who are doing it the other way, taking it, knowing it's overpriced, are ending up sometimes selling it because they stick with them anyways, or end up with buyers from the open house or the marketing that comes with the PR of having the listing in the first place. But it comes along with overpromising and under-delivering, right? So like this is the way we operate with, same as you, where we do lose clients up front sometimes because it's not that we want to talk ourselves out of business, but it feels out of integrity to tell a client, hey, sure, we can offer this product or do it in this time frame, or you're qualified for that, when they're actually not, right? And I've noticed in our industry, whether it's on the real estate side or the finance side, that it's a battle we contend with all the time. I'm sure you can relate to that, where not everyone in our industry has a ton of integrity and character and leads with that.
Sure.
Right? So it's contending with that is hard.
And they're business decisions, and I don't think one's maybe more right than the other. It's just what you feel, how you feel like you want to take the direction of your business.
Yeah.
For me, I want all of my clients and people that I work with to know that whatever I say is what they need to hear, not what they want to hear.
I had that experience with you with the La Quinta sale, by the way.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
We had a partner who was like, it's worth so much. And I'm just like, Lain, you tell me what it's worth and we'll sell it for that.
Exactly. And I think it was nice having you an advocate on my side in that case, because you understood it, but you also saw the comps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to cater to obviously you want the listing, and obviously when you see a really trophy property like this particular one in Laguna Beach, you really want to do everything you can to get it. But I've had experiences too where I did it. I had one in Victoria Beach that I did whatever he wanted, and it was a very, very expensive learning lesson because I funded a lot of costs. We're talking 5-figure learning lesson.
Well, taking the marketing on for a property like that's not cheap.
No, it was a 5-figure education for me. So
wow.
So
those are the best lessons, though.
I'd rather do that than some other things. I wasn't going to say college, but I go to college. But I learned more during those 6 months.
Wait, is that a promotion of college or not a promotion of college?
I had a great time going to college, but but it's getting so expensive too, and that's probably another.
College is losing its appeal from a society standpoint for sure.
Yeah,
it's not, obviously the network. If you go to a USC type school and all the alumni, and I'm not saying there's not value in it, but like for your average person going to an average, university or community college, I question sometimes the value in that. I don't want to get off on a tangent.
No, we don't have, I didn't mean to take us there.
It's okay.
It was a great education lesson that I enjoyed more than some of my courses in school. How about that?
Yeah.
And I know I'm not going to make mistakes like that again.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like, and then just to circle back on the social media marketing versus the traditional marketing, are you doing 50-50? Like how, because you still have the mailers, the door knocking, the farming, like how has this evolved for a team that's been around since the 1980s?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's more like 80-20 now. 80-20 is digital, 20 is like print.
Interesting.
Yeah, I really feel that with digital, I can take a $2,000 marketing budget and get in front of way more eyeballs and way more people from a digital standpoint than I could during print. Right now, if I was going to pay for just a jumbo postcard to go out to, I don't know, 1,500 homes, it's probably going to cost me over $2,000. But if I had $2,000 going towards YouTube, Meta, I'm now being seen by 50, 100,000 people as opposed to 2,000 people. So I do think it's to the benefit of my client to be seen by more eyeballs, and doing that would be leaning a little bit more on the digital advertising than the print. But I don't want to get print and old school. I don't want to give that away altogether either. I had a marketing coach that said you want to be multi-channel,
Sure,
just everything. Just be blasted everywhere.
My dad called it guerrilla marketing back in the 90s.
Yeah, guerrilla marketing. Perfect.
Yeah.
yes. That's what you want.
I didn't know it was 80-20 though. That's interesting.
And this is like an assumption. Like I don't have it down to science, but yeah,
you know your business. Yeah,
we're leaning more towards digital than we are print. We're not letting print go. We're not letting certain like ads and stuff like that go.
We still throw events. Our guys still go to open houses on the loan officer side, and I agree with you. Because you have to have some sort of branding in your local marketplace. But it's kind of like when I was reading one of Alex Hormozi's books, he put it like in a way that was a big light bulb moment for me. When it comes to social media and internet marketing, he's like, the market is way bigger than you give it credit for, right? When you're out door knocking or doing pop buys or sending mailers to your 500 home farm, it's way bigger than that. And there's only so much we're capable of as an old school marketing human being, right? There's only so many events I can throw, only so many open houses I can physically show up at or coach my guys to show up at, go to broker preview. Like, it's a grind too. And when I realized with Instagram, this is applicable for any business, by the way, whether it's real estate or finance or whatever, DM outreach at scale is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's exposed us and our loan officers to thousands of realtors that we didn't know existed, because realtors in the loan officer world is our best referral partner. And they're all like, yeah, let me come into the office. You see the studio. Let's have coffee. And I'm like, holy cow.
And this is through DMs.
This is just through DMs.
Yeah.
And we're not doing the DM. We approve the script. And then the script goes out at scale to whatever zip codes and geographic area we want, and we're meeting an unbelievable amount of people.
Which social channels?
Mainly Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think realtors are on Instagram, and obviously we can do Facebook, but it's very effective in Instagram. And then they see our page with all the content, and then they see the studio, and they're like, oh man, these people have their act together. Yeah. And then it's up to us, once they respond to the script, to have the organic conversation.
Well, and it's called social media for a reason.
You got to be social.
You have to be social. And I feel like the intent of it when you first started Facebook and Instagram was to connect with friends. And so when you get these DMs, it's like you're connecting with a friend. So it comes a little bit more approachable. It comes a little bit easier to have a conversation with. You're seeing somebody you're seeing a message from somebody that maybe you don't know, but it's a little easier to maybe get through those walls because it's a friendly conversation, a friendly start. Yeah.
Well, think about this. Old school coaching, which I still believe in, is go visit 10 open houses a weekend, loan officer, right? And that's we take a week off every month. So with 3 weeks, that's 36 weeks. There's 360 realtors you've met. But you had to, on Sunday, say, bye, wife and kids. I'm getting in the car. I got my business cards. I'm dressed up. I've spent the next 3 to 5 hours doing that on a Sunday.
Yep.
No barbecue for you, right?
Yep.
And then we literally are reaching out to 500 to 1,000 a month. So we're talking about, let's call it 6 to 12,000 agents over the course of a year versus 360. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
It's just a different way to approach the business. And when you have those light bulb moments, I'm not saying one replaces the other, like you said earlier, but wow, talk about supercharging things.
Yeah, then now you have to have a whole system in place for those 6 to 12,000 or whatever the people that you're reaching now. It's like, if they didn't reply back right away, do you give up on them or do you try again?
Right.
If they did reply, now do you see if they have an open house and maybe you should go see them on the weekend for the open house?
That's what we're doing.
Okay, yeah. So it's you have to have this whole system in place.
It's not a one and done.
No, not at all.
But
and you don't want
in the door.
And you don't want to give up after one try either. So you have to try 6 or 7. What was the Harvard study? You had like 6 or 7 attempts.
No, totally.
Before you give up.
Yeah, and that boils down to how motivated somebody is. But we have younger loan officers who are very motivated, and work doesn't scare them, right? And
DMing somebody is so easy to do and an approach, a good start. It's way easier than pounding the pavement. And for us, it was door knocking, cold calling.
I wonder what that looks like from a realtor's perspective, DMing at scale in different geographic areas for areas you're trying to farm.
Sure, yeah. I haven't explored that per se. I don't know. I don't know if I can draw like
market updates. Hey, this is what's going on in your community. Reach out for a CMA or whatever you call it.
Yeah. I mean, right now we have like DM ads where we're promoting to get direct messages with our ads, but I don't know if I can really. And maybe there's somebody
direct
out there
reach out
that can help. But like I can do like a geo fence around like a particular neighborhood and see whose social channels there are and kind of contact them that way. But
it works for us.
That's it. Yeah. That's it.
All right. In wrap up,
we're already wrapping up.
I don't know. We can keep going. I don't care.
I just felt quick.
I always like to be respectful of time. We try to keep them to 30 minutes, but I can go for hours.
You're fine. Same.
I have the gift of gab, sir. So I just want to people are like, oh, it's a bubble. The market's correcting. Everything's going to crash. Real estate's local. We know the old cliche. Orange County is also different depending on where you're buying. Coastal Orange County versus somewhere in like Orange, Brea, or Santa Ana or whatever, right? So, what are your thoughts? Are you seeing an actual price reduction situation a lot? Like, are prices coming down, or is things just stabilizing?
It's completely dependent on the home, the location, and the starting price of where they were. We had one in Huntington Beach recently where we had more than 10 offers and it sold for over $200,000, over 10% above the asking price.
I remember that property.
Yeah, so that just happened. We're closed that one yesterday.
Yeah, one of my buyers was. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. There you go. So yes, sorry it didn't work out for your buyer, but
all cash closed successfully.
All cash closed successfully. So that was very competitive. And then conversely, if you're seeing stuff that's been maybe starting a little too high, because I think there are sellers that still feel like it's 2021 out there.
How long does it take for a consumer or seller to catch up with reality? By the way,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It hasn't happened yet, but what's going to happen, I think, in my opinion, the next 12 months or so, they're going to be right again at some point, because I do think that there is going to be a bounce in the other direction. And it is like it is slowing down a little bit in a lot of areas, and I think you alluded to earlier, there's 5,000 plus units available. But when you look at the historic stats of that, you're hovering a little bit above 3 months supply of inventory. And historically, anything below 4 months supply, basically
Still a seller's market.
Yeah, still a seller's market. If you're between 3.5 to 4.5, it's pretty much neutral. So are we in a neutral market right now? Sure, I think we are. I remember when I started in 2012, we were just starting to like get out of things, and it wasn't uncommon to have these price reduction talks after 30 days, and the average days on the market at that point was 60 some days on the market. So that was normal then. It just happened that we remember at 2021 to 2020,
that was not normal.
We call those the unicorn years.
Yeah,
that was not normal.
Yeah, what like one of the lead housing analysts in the country called it a savagely unhealthy.
Yeah,
Logan Motoshami.
Yeah,
right. Savagely unhealthy market, and I think that people forget that is not normal, as you just alluded to, right? Like what we're doing is we're returning to balance. We're not going to a correcting buyer's market. And maybe in some markets like Austin or parts of Florida, you know.
The only way we're going to see a crash is if we see an influx of inventory.
Yeah.
And I don't see where we're going to see the inventory, especially here in Orange County.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are still really strict with your loan guidelines. So we're not seeing this subprime mess that we got into before. There's a lot of people that are sitting on 2%, 3% interest rates that even if they want to buy another house, they're not even want to sell that one.
Yeah.
Because like
they have equity and the low housing expense.
Yeah. And they're probably gonna be cash flow positive if they turn around and rent it out. So I don't see where we're going to get this major influx of units coming.
I agree.
And then I do feel, we are going to have a Fed chair change next spring.
May of 2026, folks.
There it is, May of 2026, and it's going to be under the thumb of an administration that's screaming at the top of the lungs to lower rates and lower rates now.
They are going to assign somebody that they want too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So even if we see a September drop, it's not going to be enough to move the needle. I don't think we're going to see a big needle movement until early next year. But then once that happens, I do think there's so many people out there that have been waiting, and we've been stuck.
Buy, yeah.
It's been how many? Over 3 years now?
To buy and sell.
Yeah, waiting to buy and sell. It's been, I think, over 3 years since we've been in these elevated rates that over these last 3 years, they've probably had kids, maybe second kids. They're probably getting a little bit older. They have savings. They're just...
Don't forget the animals, dogs and cats.
Yeah, they need the space, and they've been waiting. And then any little movement that's going to be able to move the needle is going to be a major improvement. I don't want to say improvement in the market because I feel like it's neutral right now, but it's going to be a kind of a frenzy again. And you're going to have to give up the naming rights to your firstborn to get a house again. I think that's going to happen. I think it's going to happen for a short term, and then it'll get back to balance again.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said.
Oh,
yeah, and I'm not just saying that. I mean, interest rates, I think the only thing that's going to determine how interest rates respond is what's going on with the jobs market, right? On a national basis. Yeah. If you're following the news at all, the BLS director just got fired, the one that's in charge of the jobs report, first Friday of every month. And we saw the last jobs report.
Yeah.
It was revisions of 250,000 jobs in the last 60 days, which was like basically obliterating almost 100% of any form of job creation. So like the only reason the Fed's been higher for longer, why have interest rates remained elevated? Yes, inflation, but inflation has a two-handle on it right now, right? The main thing that's going to cause interest rates to break downward is the jobs market. And we're starting to see those cracks. It'll be super interesting to see if we have duration where the next jobs report and the one after that shows the same thing. Because if it does, I can guarantee you mortgage rates are going to have a 5 handle at some point, and what you said is going to happen is exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, I feel like every piece of news that's come out lately, except for maybe the wholesale inflation, has been positive in the direction that you are going to see a rate cut come September. At one point, I didn't look at the newest one you might have seen, but at one point it was over 90% prediction that they were going to cut rates in September. I don't know if since the wholesale inflation report, if that's been adjusted down, but I think we are going to see something there. Whether or not that makes a big enough improvement, I don't know. I don't think so.
Only if the jobs reports really tank.
Yeah,
if the jobs reports tank, the market's going to freak out.
That's something that we really want to. So it's at the end of the day, it is low sixes and somebody's going to hate me for saying this, but is it really that bad?
No. I will tell you, we got a little taste of low sixes. Remember, it was Q3 of last year where the 10-year treasury went down to 3.6 and interest rates went down to about 6%.
It was almost like the exact same time as today.
Yes. Yeah. And we got busy, like really busy. Demand for purchase properties went way up. Refinances immediately started to show up. So we don't need a 5 handle. You're right. Yeah. Like for me, what I can tell you is when interest rates hit 8%, that actually helped in a certain way from a market psyche standpoint, because remember, 5% was really high before.
Yeah.
8% was like, and now all of a sudden we're just begging for 6.25.
Yeah.
Right. So the 8% did us a favor because it changed perceptions.
Yeah.
And last year proved that 6.25% brings the market to life.
I don't know what your dream market looks like, but my dream market would be, I would want all of my sellers to be able to get their price. They don't need to get 10, 15, 20% above asking, but I want them to get their price. I want my buyers to get their house and not have to pay 10, 15, 20% over asking. And I want them to be able to spend the time of maybe doing 2 visits if they need to take 2 visits to look at it before making a decision in 30 seconds of looking at the house. Like, hey, let's put an offer right now, because if I don't, then I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
And then I think if rates had a 5 in front of it, like if everything was just perfectly balanced.
I was going to say, you're describing a balanced market.
That's all.
I think we want balance. So the problem is, sorry to interrupt you, but COVID created distortions, right? It brought forward way too much demand, because we didn't need 2.5% interest rates. We really did not. That was unnecessary. And it eliminated demand for the following few years and created the inflation problem we have now. And now we're trying to correct that with what the Fed's doing with higher for longer interest rates. I think we're all ready, after the last 5 years of market distortions, we're ready for some normal.
Exactly.
Right? We just want normal.
And what's going to happen next spring? Are they going to shift it to where it's maybe too low again? I don't know. Just to be seen.
The Fed always overreacts.
Yeah, the pendulum's always constantly swinging way far in one direction and far in the other. Like, at some point, they need to find a middle.
Well, why don't they learn from their mistakes is my question. It's like, why aren't we learning from it? It's like the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
And I'm not in those rooms. I'm not making those big decisions and stuff.
One too many PhDs, man. Yeah. Paralysis by analysis.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we can wrap it up. But any parting words of wisdom for your average seller or first-time home buyer these days?
Patience. I think patience for a buyer. You can be patient right now in the sense of taking your time looking at homes, staying true to what you feel like a good offering price for you would be for that home and the terms that you want for that home. And if it doesn't work out, there's going to be another one coming, because inventory is coming up. Sellers, patience. Don't freak out after the first weekend open house if you don't have any offers. It's just more of a normal market where it's taking a little bit longer, but those buyers and the demand's out there. So I just think that both the buyers and the sellers in our marketplace just need to exude a little bit of patience.
Yeah. And be careful of the over-promising, under-delivering listing agent who tells you to overprice their homes.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want somebody that is going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, I'm your guy. But if you want somebody that's going to tell you what you want to hear, call somebody else.
Yeah, it's human nature. People want to make that mistake over and over again, but hopefully this plants a seed. How do they get a hold of you?
You can find me anywhere, sackandstoneteam.com or at Lain NOC on any of the socials. And our team accounts are at Sack and Stone Team on any of the socials as well.
Sweet. This went well.
I think so, right? Well, I think we said it all.
Making the time for us. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And it won't be the last, that's for sure. And if you found value in this today, please like and subscribe. Thank you, everybody. Blaine, thank you.
No, thank you.
All right.